Hey guys, it's me. Um, I was surfing the internet again about what are you supposed to do if you don't have a car? This seems to be a constant dilemma I'm in. Um, when you're poor, you can't just get a vehicle. And this post right here is going to show almost the perfect situation poor people are at in America. It almost encompasses everything I talk about. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to read this, skim through it real quick, and then the comments or this whole post, everything, the comment and the post itself is everything. Like it's literally encompasses almost everything I talk about. So let's see right here. Here's my situation. I'm 22. I have no car. I don't have my license due to anxiety. Very real. I know a lot of people. This didn't affect me exactly. It did to some extent, but I got my license. But I know a lot of people who are just terrified of taking the test. Like I'll explain to them how it's a quick test. It's no big deal. It's like an irrational fear. They are deathly afraid. They'd rather walk outside naked, honestly. Okay. So I can't currently afford a car with what I make. Yep. So this right here, someone who's poor like me and who's been through it all and is still going through it all and who will keep going through it all, um, I'm not even gonna question this guy. Because I don't question poor people anymore. I used to be like, oh, what did you do? What are you, a drug addict? No, 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 no. I don't question poor people anymore because what's the point? Either they're poor because of something not in their control, which why be a jerk? Or they have problems, alcohol, substance abuse, whatever, and they can't get ahead. And what am I going to do? Be a jerk to them too? So either way, I don't question poor people because if people had a choice, they're not going to be poor. So obviously, okay, so he can't afford a car with what he makes because owning a vehicle, you need to make about 20 bucks an hour. I made a video on this, what you need to survive, I think it was called. And around, I believe, on that chart I made, about 20 bucks an hour is when you can maybe get a car, roughly. I make $12 an hour and work about 20 hours a week. Yep. So, right here, a lot of conservatives will say, "What are you talking about? You're making 15 bucks an hour times 2080, which 2080 hours of work year. That's 40 hours a week times 52." I say, "Wait a minute. No, no, no. These jobs that pay this don't give you 40 hours a week." And this guy's making 12 bucks an hour, so he's probably in retail or fast food. He's probably not in warehouse. Warehouse is usually a bit higher. But this was 2 years ago. So COVID, that's before the COVID bump. So he's probably in retail or fast food, and you're definitely not getting 40 hours a week there. So that's how it comes out to 20 hours a week. He was supposed to get a bonus for working COVID, but it didn't work out. Yeah, tell me about it. Most of my life hasn't worked out. So right now he's making 900 bucks a month. So and it later on says he lives with his parents, but or yeah, I think he lives with them. Um, $900 a month. You're never going to own a car. Never. Forget it. Because I can damn sure you're not going to save a dollar, and you're going to see later in this thing why he really can't save. Um, you're never gonna because what do people say? Buy a beater car. That's a bad idea. You buy a beater, you're looking at endless maintenance, repairs, tires, everything. Okay, breaking down on the side of the road, tow fees, everything. I mean, what do people say? Oh, get handy, get you become your own mechanic. I mean, that works for maybe oil changes or tire rotations, basics. You can't expect somebody to take apart their transmission as on YouTube, okay? Like I get it, yeah, you should probably learn how to change your own oil. That is going to save you a bit of money. I know how to change car oil, okay? It's not complex. But that cost money. The people who recommend this nonsense, oh, just do your own maintenance. Okay, I mean, you should probably be able to change your own radiator fluid and transmission fluid's usually pretty easy. Um, but guess what? That has money too. The fluids cost money. The jack, because you got to get a jack or ramps. Jack's more versatile because ramps you can't take their tires off, but you're not doing that often anyways. But you're gonna need jacks and ramps. Ramps are a lot better, I think, for a beginner. Jacks are kind of scary. If you've used them, you know what I mean. Uh, you've got the tools. Tools aren't cheap. I mean, yeah, you can get the Walmart tools. I've done it. You usually those break. Mine broke, and I didn't even use them much. They rust really quick, within like 6 months. So I got the stuff from Home Depot or Lowe's, and they those are a lot better. The Craftsman, I think the brand is. Those last, as long as you're gonna need. But you're looking at 300-400 bucks in tools or everything you need to get started. All the adapters to get your oil filter off, all the drain bolt things, the gaskets. Yeah, so this isn't cheap. Cars have a lot of costs that people don't even think about. Okay, so he makes $20 or 12. He made 20. Oh boy, he makes 12 an hour on 20 a week. He couldn't get his bonus. He's making 900 a month after taxes. And that's another problem people don't talk about, the after taxes. Okay? And it is true, poor people in general, not always, it's on an individual basis, but poor people do usually get a decent tax return based off how much, because of how much they made. But in the meantime, you don't have that money. So he's making 900 a month after taxes. Most people only talk about, so you'll have your boomers say, oh, you're making whatever an hour times 2080. So they already get the hours a year wrong. It's literally like half that. So they lie about the hours, and then they don't even count tax. So they'll say, because I think, so 15 an hour, we'll use an example, times 2080 is like 30 grand a year. They'll say, what are you talking about? You're making 30 grand a year. And it's like, listen, asshole. No, I'm not. Okay. You're working half the hours, and a good, like 20% of your paycheck is going to taxes. So it's half that. So you're looking at 15 grand a year times 0.8. What's that? 12 grand a year, 13 grand a year, roughly around there. So no, these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. These old people, they don't know what they're talking about. You're not making as much as the calculator says, because that's not real life. That's assuming you never get sick, and you damn sure don't get any paid sick leave. You don't get anything. So, assuming you're sick, late to work. Poor people are late to work because they can't get to work. Okay? Then you got taxes, about 20%. And that's assuming there's no 401k, which if you ever want to retire, and I don't like to rank at poor people all day and be jerks, but Social Security will not cut it. And at some point, you're not going to be able to work. You do have to save at some point. Is that possible? Listen, I know it's hard, but at some point, you do have to contribute to either Roth, IRA, individual retirement account, or 401k. Because Social Security is not going to cut it. And I do kind of like to press this to poor people. It can't always be bad. I know it is, but at some point, you do have to save, or it's only going to get worse. If you're always in the negative in your bank account, you're always paying the overdraft fees, which that's a whole video on its own. You're never going to get out of it. At some point, you do have to, I don't know, donate plasma, do something to get some money saved up, which it's not easy. And I don't even think that's reasonable in a lot of situations, which we're going to get into in this bottom of this article or as a comment. But at some point, like in terms of how to build wealth, doesn't mean you can do it, but in terms of how you're actually going to get out of this, you need a high-paying job and you need to save money. Once you do those things, and debt, you need to not have debt. Once you do those three things, you're good. Poor people can't even do any of them. They have a low-paying job, they're in debt, and since they're in debt and have a low-paying job, they can't do the third, which is saving money. But that is how you do it. That you have to do those three things, and it has to be all three to ever get out of poverty. That's all you have to do to get out of poverty. Is that hard? Oh yeah. Those are three monumental tasks, but that is the only way to get out of poverty. So, and doing just one will not get you out. You need to have all three. That's a whole video too on how to get out of poverty. But so he's making 900 a month. His parents said they'll help him buy a car if he kept saving. Okay, so he's not saving anything. He has no money, and his parents, he's looking at a beater car, which are not safe. And if he gets in a car accident, he will die on impact. Okay, and this is the price as poor people we have to pay. Beater cars, which chronic maintenance, they're dangerous. I had a wreck one time in such an old car. There was no airbags. I almost died. I was like 4 years old. No airbags deployed. Car totaled, crushed in, whiplash for months. I had to wear a collar. Okay, extremely dangerous. Beater cars are not safe, and anyone who tells you to buy one, you need to explain to them they are dangerous. Okay? So, if he kept saving, his parents are going to help him. The problem is, here we go, credit card and student loan debt. So if he has both, we're looking at north of 10 grand, at least. Probably a lot more than that. And if he's got student loan debt, I don't know if you guys noticed, he doesn't have the job for the college. I don't know if you guys saw that. He's got student loan debt, no job. So either he didn't graduate, which, in his situation, no car, probably not. He probably couldn't get to his classes. He probably couldn't. So that's a problem. He's got no job and student loan debt. So actually make that 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 grand plus in student loan debt. It's totally possible. And he's got credit card debt because that's how he's living day by day. So he's got shit credit. He's got student loan debt, credit card debt. Look, credit score's low. So he's not getting a new car. He can't get a loan or a finance car. I'm stuck in a bad situation because he relies on rides and Uber and Lyft to get to work. Almost $200 a month out of $900. What is he supposed to do? I know people in this situation, and guess what? They've been in it for over 5 years now. Because once you're down, it's the no car, no job paradox. Once you have no car, you're not getting a job. With no job, you're not getting a car. Now here comes the useless conservatives. Here we go. Here we go. Look at this. Here we go. Bicycle. If I hear bicycle from these people one more time, I would say 15 miles one way would be a reasonable distance to bike. That's what the Republicans think. This guy's a conservative. I already know how he voted. Look at this guy. 15 miles. The guy lives 15 miles from town. And if he has no car, he wouldn't be bitching about having no car if he lived close. Okay? Because you could truly walk. But if you, in 15 miles, I'm sure it's what it is. And he said, let me stop you right there. That is unreasonable. Exactly. That is unreasonable. That is. No one should be expected to bike 15 miles. 15 miles by car is like 30 minutes usually with traffic. You know what that would be on a bike? What? Hours. Hours. Yeah. Sneaky money pits, even if you do everything right. Yes. Correct. I mean, honestly, you got people that I saw earlier too on this post. I don't know where the comments went. We had I was reading it earlier before I got the link ready. The guy, there's this Republican just here we go. Here we go. Right here. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Let me stop you right there. This was up there, so it got lost. Let me stop you right there. That's unreasonable distance to bike. 15 miles is an unreasonable distance now. Here's the cocky arrogance. Holy God, we have become too obese. This is what Republicans think about people. You don't want to bike 15 miles? You don't want to walk 4 hours to work? Well, you're a lazy, fat piece of shit. That's what they think. These people are appalling. Look, 15 miles is extremely unreasonable distance. without an automobile. That's like walking to China. It might as well be. That's a long walking. Oh, that's all day. 15 miles. Good luck. That's all day. If there's any elements, remember, you don't have health insurance either. So you hit the ground more. Now you have student loan debt, credit card debt, and medical debt. So has everything to do with heat exhaustion, nothing to do with obesity. Exactly. Like, dude, come on. And then right here, obesity he's already assuming the guy's fat. And then look at India, tropical monsoon, people are walking. You know what? Nobody cares, he said. 15 miles is ridiculous. It's a cultural issue. So this is what Republicans do. This is my last point here, my last talking point. We have a guy right here. Look at this poor guy. We have a guy, he's not being a jerk. He's explaining his situation, why he has no vehicle. Okay? He's being totally reasonable and how he's completely stuck. And then when conservatives, because they have no comeback, once you've reached this point, conservative ideology no longer works. The conservative ideology works really good when you have money investing in the stock market, stocks and bonds, yada, yada, yada. But once you've reached rock bottom, they have no solution for you. And that's why you saw things like just go walk. And that's a problem I had when I was talking to conservatives, explaining my situation, because their ideology is not compatible with poverty. Once you're poor in their ideology, you're to go buy lethal injection or something, because it doesn't work. Once you're poor in their world, you're gone. They're going to have to do it away with you because you're a leech. And we know what they think should happen to leeches. So that's why. So this guy explained his situation, how he can't get a car. It's just totally reasonable. He's in student loan debt. He's got debt. What do I do? And they say, because they're out of options. There's no quick comeback they could really use on you, honestly. There's no, because in this situation, you know what he needs? A bailout. He needs student loan forgiveness, credit card debt forgiveness, and he needs to be given a check. That's the only way he's getting out of it. I'm serious. When it comes down to poor people, that a $10,000 check on top of eliminating his debt is the only way he'd get out of that. That's it. That's it. That's the only way he's getting out of it. And a good paying job. Because I would do all three. Get rid of debt, good paying job, and he could save money. Because the conservative ideology isn't compatible with any welfare or any of that. They added up all the variables. He has a bad job, shit job. He makes no money. He has debt. He has no car. He has no money in the bank, any of that. So they say, you know what? Because that's why they said, just walk. Because that's all they could do. There's no government position they could support that would save him, because they don't believe in welfare. They don't believe in anything. So I've noticed this. I've explained my situation to people, because the conservative ideology cannot compute my variables. Essentially, it can't. What do you mean you don't have a car? What do you mean you have no money saved? What do you mean you don't have any retirement? What do you mean you don't have what do you mean you don't have this? What do you mean you don't have that? What do you mean you don't make $30 an hour? And then they add all those variables, and they're like, you know what? We tap out. We quit. It's all your fault. Then they blame you. They automatically blame you, like that guy did. They start calling you names. In this case, they called him fat. In my case, they called me retarded, or I'm lying. So it gives up. They give up, and they say, you know what? There's no hope for you.